All right, so I'm standing in front of a 2017 Honda Pilot EXL with the rear DVD player, or Blu-ray player, I should say. First thing I'm going to start you off with is the key fob right here. So if you want to use the remote start, you got to press the lock button first. Then you'll press and hold the remote start button for a couple seconds. After that, your car should fire up. Hence, my car just fired up. This will run for 20 minutes before it shuts itself off. If you wanted to turn it off because you forgot and you need to change your mind, you could always press the unlock button and then the remote start button. And that'll turn it off. If not, just remember it will turn on the AC or the heater depending on the outside temperature. I walk up, I grab my door handle, hop inside the car. First thing it's going to tell me when you're looking here in the dash is to put your foot on the brake and press the start button just to acknowledge that it's now in the car. And that's just a safety feature to make sure nobody drives off in your car. So that's what's going on there. Okay, so let's switch over to a couple things here. First thing I'm going to start you off is just normal stuff. Power windows, power locks, powered mirrors. Mirror controls are right over here. Right next to that, you'll see the Econ button. That'll improve the gas mileage of the car. How that works is it shuts down some of the electrical systems in the front end of the car. But in doing so, what it's going to do is improve gas mileage. Things you'll notice that it will affect will be the AC unit will not blow quite as hard when it's on, and the accelerator will not take off and go quite as fast if you mash it to the floorboard. Down below, you're going to notice this button right here. That's Vehicle Stability Assist. It works along with your traction control. It's always on unless you press that button for 3 to 4 seconds to turn it off. How this works. Anytime you go into a skid, it transfers power from the wheel that's not getting traction to the one that is to help improve traction on the car and correct a skid. The only reason you'd ever want to turn this off is if you were stuck in the mud and you wanted to spin your tires while you're trying to push it out, kind of thing. Jumping up onto the blinker stock, I'll point out a couple things. First thing you'll see is it does have auto lights to where you can set up the hash to match up, unless you just want to turn them completely on and off whenever you go. And then your fog light controls are right here to turn them on and off. So I'm gonna leave that on auto. Jumping to the corner, you'll notice this button right here. So what this controls is a couple things. There's 2 ways to activate this. If I press that button, you'll see the camera turn on. This is my blind spot camera. Red line is the end of my car. Red to orange is car length. Orange to orange is another car length. So I did that by pressing the button on the tip of the stock. Anytime you hit the right blinker on, it's going to fire that on too, so just be aware of that. On the steering wheel, so let's look over some controls here. First one I'm going to show you is right here. By pressing this, it's going to toggle through a couple screens up here, your Bluetooth and your audio, so it's just a quick transition button. When you're in your audio, your plus and minus are your volume controls. Left and right will jump between tracks or your favorite stations on the stereo, or XM if you're using that for the 90-day trial unless you've continued it. From whatever menu you're in, this is going to give you your menu options. So if you're in audio, it's going to pull up like, oh, these are your presets, this is this, that kind of thing. So that's what this button's for. Down below, Bluetooth controls. So to answer a phone call, to hang up a phone call or go back, you'll notice the back symbol, to use voice commands. So whether this be press, call so-and-so, and it toggles and walks you through the process, or using it, if we're holding it down, we can get to Siri if I have an iPhone. If I'm plugging in my phone, I can use this for some of the navigation controls also, so be aware of that if I'm using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Jumping over to the other side, my cruise control stuff. This is what you set to basically turn it on, and when you do that, you'll see that green. It says cruise main, come on up there. It's right above my fingernail. And then, you know, set, cancel, resume. Pretty standard stuff here. Right here, so these two will toggle between the menus you see up here. So this way I can view all my different options, my oil life, my tire pressure, you know, navigationally, which way I'm facing, if I want, you know, tripometer info, things like that. And then there's a reset button right in the center if you want to reset like your trip info. Jumping on to the AC unit. So it is a tri-zone control, which means I can control left and right separate of each other and the rear separate of each other. So right and left are pretty simple. I can just toggle between. If they're not synced off this button, I can adjust them separate of each other. So that's what I'm doing right now. If I want to control the back settings, I would just jump to rear settings. You'll notice the display will change, and then I can turn up the fan, turn down the fan, change the amount of air, or the I should say the temperature of the air. So pretty simple there. It does have an auto setting if you want to set it to a certain temperature and allow it to adjust in the cabin for you. So with the DVD player, or Blu-ray player I should say, the control is right here. So that's where you would put in your DVDs. And then you have your power controls right here, and then in the back you'll have the actual control set up in the flip down screen. Down below, you'll see you have a power outlet. You do have 2 USBs right here. You'll notice the one for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto is right here with the phone on it, so be aware of that if you decide to use it. This model does have a setup as far as traction control for snow, so that's going to adjust some shift points and help you as far as preventing skids and slides and things like that. Down in here, you do have a USB and another power outlet, so be aware that you do have plenty of places to charge. Jumping up, you'll notice, hey, there's me. Auto dimming mirror. We do have home links, so as far as the setup up here, I can set up my garage gate clickers, things like that. And then I do have the sunglass holder with the mirror in it, so be aware of that. Comes with a moonroof. That's what's going on right here. Let's jump out and go around to the back seat, and we'll show you some of the controls and the rest of the vehicle. All right, so hopping into the rear of the car. Down here, you'll notice you do have some AC controls, and then you do have RCA inputs, along with if you wanted to plug in your own headphones. The car does come with 2 sets of wireless headphones. You do have an HDMI input in case you want to plug in there and be able to view something, along with a 115, I think is what we're going with, volt outlet. Up top, it does have the flip down menu, or excuse me, screen. So that would be your screen, and then you do have the wireless control, which is right here, which you can actually control more than just the screen. You can control what's playing on the radio up front, which is lockable. So for parents, if you're worried about kids playing it or messing with your music, you can lock all these settings to prevent them from doing anything. So that's what's going on there. So now we've seen that. Car does have a third row. Third row is right behind me, which is folding, able to fold down. You can see the floor mats are sitting right here. So just some general how-tos. You've got cup holders in the back and things like that, and air vents in the back, and then tie downs if the seats are folded down. So that's what these silver deals are right here. And then of course cup holders and all over this car. So I mean, there's more cup holders than anyone could ever need. If you have any questions about the car, feel free to call me or email me. You can call me at 512-443-4300. You can email me at the letter J, and then Fuller, that's J Fuller at howdyhonda.com, or just respond to the YouTube video, and I'd be more than happy to help you in any way I can. Thank you.